No one understood why the Admiral froze that morning. He'd commanded fleets, faced down war zones, and stared into missile fire without blinking. But when she set her call sign, every SEAL in the hangar went silent, and the Admiral's hand trembled. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Scene 1. The confrontation. It started on a sun-bleached runway at Langley Air Force Base. The air was heavy with jet fuel and tension. A young woman, flight suit zipped to her collar, silver wings catching the light, stood alone beside an F-22 Raptor. Her name tag read Captain Elise Ward. Across from her, Admiral Ross was pacing, his voice cutting through the wind. "You don't belong here, Captain," he barked. "You've been reassigned." Effective immediately. Around them, a half-dozen Navy SEALs, tough and sun-scarred, stood watching the scene unfold. Their mission had been scrubbed. Rumor was, because of her. Elise didn't flinch. But her jaw tightened. "With all due respect, sir," she said evenly, "this mission doesn't go without me." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "You're dismissed, Ward. That's an order." And that's when it happened. The words that would change everything. She looked him dead in the eye and said, quietly, "Call sign Valkyrie." The air went still. One of the SEALs, a broad-shouldered man named Turner, actually stepped back. His face went pale, because that call sign wasn't supposed to exist anymore. Rising tension, the past returns. 3 years earlier, Valkyrie Squadron had been the ghost story of the skies, a classified strike unit so precise that even the Pentagon denied it existed. When a rogue convoy threatened a humanitarian base overseas, Valkyrie's F-22s took off under radio silence. And only one pilot came back. That pilot was Elise Ward, but she hadn't spoken of that day. Not to her superiors. Not even to her own reflection. Now, with one word, Valkyrie. She'd unburied ghosts no one wanted to face. The Admiral's voice faltered. "That's impossible. You were dead." She finished, her tone cold but not cruel. "That's what you told them." Behind her, the SEALs exchanged uneasy glances. Turner stepped forward. "Ma'am, if you really flew under Valkyrie command, then you know what happened in Al-Basra." She nodded. "I was there, and I know who ordered the blackout." A long silence followed. The sound of distant turbines filled the space where truth was supposed to live. Conflict, the moral divide. The Admiral finally spoke, quieter now. "You don't understand what's at stake. That mission can't be reopened. It was sealed for a reason." Elise's hand brushed the wing of her Raptor, the metal warm from the morning sun. "It was sealed," she said, "because someone needed to bury the civilians who never made it home. You can live with that, sir. I can't." There it was, the crack in her armor. Not defiance, not pride, but guilt. The SEALs could see it in her eyes. The look of someone who had seen too much and refused to look away again. Micro cliffhanger. The Admiral's secret. Admiral Ross turned away, his jaw locked. "You think this is about morality? That was a joint order. I signed it, yes. But so did command. So did your father." Her breath caught. "My father." He faced her now, the weight of years in his stare. "Colonel Ward believed protecting the program meant protecting you. He didn't want your name attached to that night." The world tilted. For 3 years, she'd carried the guilt alone, convinced she'd been erased for failing her mission. Now she realized she'd been erased to be protected, but that protection came at a cost. Truth buried under medals and silence. Rising action. The SEALs choose. The SEAL team leader, Turner, broke the silence. "Sir," he said carefully, "if she's Valkyrie, she's earned her place in the op. Maybe more than any of us." Ross didn't answer. The decision wasn't tactical anymore. It was personal. Elise turned to the team. "I'm not here for credit," she said. "I'm here because the same people who silenced us are targeting your extraction site. If we don't act now, you'll lose men and civilians." The air changed. The kind of change you feel before you see duty. Truth. Fear. All standing in the same room. Waiting to see who would blink first. Climax. The call to the sky. Without another word, Elise climbed into the cockpit. The Raptor's engines roared to life, shattering the stillness. "Ward, stand down." The Admiral shouted through the comms, but she was already rolling. "Sir." Turner's voice came through, firm and resolute. "If Valkyrie's flying, we're moving too." One by one, the SEALs loaded into their Black Hawk. The hangar erupted into controlled chaos, mechanics scrambling, radios sparking, the sound of rotors cutting through the humid air. The Admiral stood frozen, headset in hand, watching as two branches of the military defied protocol for one woman's conviction above the base. The F-22 banked hard into the clouds for a heartbeat. The sunlight flashed across its wings like a blade being drawn. Battle, redemption in the skies, over the coastline. Elise locked onto the hostile convoy moving toward a refugee column. The radar screamed. Two enemy drones, fast and low. She steadied her breathing. Her father's voice echoed from memory. You fly for those who can't run. She fired. Two missiles streaked into the clouds, twin arcs of smoke and flame, and silence followed. Down below, the SEALs moved in, rescuing civilians trapped in burning vehicles. Every strike she made cleared their path. Every maneuver was surgical, deliberate. When the last evac chopper lifted off, Turner's voice came through the radio. Valkyrie, they're safe. We're clear. For a long moment, Elise didn't respond. She was staring at the horizon, the same place she'd watched her squad vanish 3 years ago. Then she whispered, "Copy that." Valkyrie returning home. Resolution, the return to base. When her jet landed, the tarmac was lined with silence. The SEALs stood waiting, dirt-streaked, eyes shining. The Admiral approached slowly. He looked older than he had that morning that he stopped in front of her, salute crisp, voice steady. "Captain Ward, permission to speak freely?" She nodded. "I was wrong," he said simply. "About you. About everything." She looked at him, tears she wouldn't let fall trembling behind her eyes. "Sir, we all make choices we wish we didn't. What matters is what we do next." Ross lowered his salute. "Then tell me, Valkyrie, what comes next?" She smiled faintly. "We stop pretending the truth is classified." The SEALs nodded in quiet agreement. For the first time, the base didn't feel divided. It felt healed. Ending, the moral and the echo, because courage isn't about breaking orders. It's about standing for what the silence tried to erase. And sometimes, the strongest pilots aren't the ones who return unscathed, but the ones who return anyway. The Admiral had once ordered her off base. Now he called her the reason they still had one dot, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits. And it finds its way back, and somewhere high above, in the endless blue, Valkyrie still flies. Outro, branded close. If this story moved you, share it with someone who believes in doing what's right, even when it's hard. Tell me in the comments what you would have done if you were in Elise's place. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of courage, truth, and second chances.